What has been happening? What's going on with this election? Is it time for old DT to pack up his bags, hand the keys over, and say sayonara? Is it time to head out and say goodbye to Mr. Donald Trump? Is that what's going on? Or is it time for this?
Leave us. Release the Kraken!
Is it time to release the Kraken? Our topic today is what is going on with this election. Is it time for DT to head out? Or is it time to release Mr. Kraken? Is it about time that he be unleashed? So, why do I say that? Well, the media, the news is gaslighting. They are lying. They are falsifying their information. Well, I wouldn't say falsifying. They're misleading. They're not telling the whole story, right? Here's the media today.
I am I, the great and powerful. Who are you? Who are you?
They're blowing smoke, mirrors, fire. They're taking your eyes off of the man behind the curtain. Why? Why do I say such things? Because what happened on December 14th? The Electoral College submitted their votes, right? And the news media, oh great Oz, smoke and mirrors, is saying those electoral colleges put Biden as our next president. But what they didn't tell you, what they left out, was because when legislature went to submit their votes, the Republican voters, electors, were prohibited by police officers to enter the building. They didn't let them in to cast their vote. So the votes went in, and as the news is saying, Biden is ahead with the electoral votes. It looks like he will be our next president. But what they didn't tell you is because the Republican Party was not allowed in illegally, the state legislators of 7 states elected their own alternate electors. And they submitted their votes. And their votes were for Trump. So we have 2 sets of votes that were submitted. Some were for Biden, some were for Trump. The Democrats submitted their votes for Biden, the Republicans submitted their votes for Trump. Now, what does this mean? That means these electoral college will be officialized on January 6th. So even if none of this illegal stuff happened, it means nothing is official till January 6th, right? So what's all the hoopla? What's all this congratulations and celebrating when nothing has been officialized till January 6th? Because what's going to happen January 6th, Congress sits on them till January 6th. Congress is going to get together. They're going to open up these votes, the Electoral College votes. What's going to be different this time is they're going to open up one set of votes and say that are going to have a Biden victory. They're going to open up another set of votes. They're going to say we have a Trump victory. So what's going to happen? Well, in cases when there's undecision, an undecided case, they kick it back to Congress. The House votes for the president. The Senate votes for the vice president. So between now and January 6th, I believe, is when this Kraken is going to be released. The evidence is going to be exhibited, and it will prove if there was interference or there wasn't. Okay? Plain and simple. If there was, let's fix it. If there wasn't, okay, then we know who won. But why all the gaslight and say, oh, no. Why are they gaslighting and doing this?
Will you keep your promises?
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The media has spoken, right? Well, between now and the 6th, evidence will come forth. And when those electoral college are open and read, guess who does that? The vice president, Mike Pence, will have that job to open up the electoral college votes and declare the winner. Now, if this evidence comes forth, what's going to happen is he's going to open up the Trump votes. He's going to open up the Biden votes. He's going to say, well, these Democratic votes were all submitted under fraudulent grounds and they cannot be accepted. Therefore, throw them out and Trump is now the winner. That's what could happen. Okay? It could also get kicked back to Congress. And because of all these cases that are being exposed and soon to be either proven or not, or disproven, if they're proven, this could even affect the Georgia runoff. Because if those Democratic votes were certified as null and void and fraudulent and not legal votes, then there could not even need to be a Georgia runoff because they'll know who won, right? And why isn't the media the one who we're supposed to get informed about the world events and what's going on? Why aren't they sharing that? See, my question is, if you have somebody saying there's fraud and somebody saying that there's not, okay, why not take it to court and let's see? Okay, if somebody was making false allegations against me, and the only way to prove it was to go to court, why not say, hey, let's go to court? I ain't got nothing to hide. Let's prove it. I'll show you all this stuff you're making up. Let's go to court. Actually, let's hurry up and do this so we can get this over with and you could stop telling all your lies. Why not that? Why is it that we don't need to take this to court? There was nothing wrong. Nothing went wrong. There's no fraud here, right? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They don't want to do that. What happened when the Democratic Party went after Trump and made all these allegations against him? What did Trump do? He didn't say, no, you can't. There's no fraud here. Nothing to look at here. Go away. No, he said, here's the evidence. Here, look at it. All his tax records, he said, there you go. Have at it. Do what you want to do because I'm innocent. Right? And guess what? They didn't find anything. It was all made up. So if there's no fraud here, my question is, why not show it? Hey, go for it. Hurry up and show yourselves that nothing went wrong here. Instead, they're trying to hide it, say there's nothing here to see, They're keeping the Republicans out of the voting process, electoral vote. All this evidence is being shredded, discarded. So, what is happening? What is happening with our country nowadays? Congress has not decided which set to accept. January 6th is the day, and there are two competing sets. Trump is going to continue to uncover evidence. December 18th, which is Friday, another date, important date. Ratcliffe is going to issue his report on this foreign interference and fraudulent evidence. He's going to issue his report on the 18th. Remember when Texas filed a lawsuit to the Supreme Court and it was kicked out, right? What did the great Oz say? See, there's nothing. They got no grounds to stand on. They're just hoping and reaching for something that ain't there. But what they didn't tell you was when they rejected this case, it was rejected without bias, meaning they could refile it. Now, why is that important? Because they claimed because of the voting process that they were harmed. Well, guess what? There was no votes were official. I wouldn't say official, but no votes were submitted until Monday. So there was really no harm that was done until Monday. So now that the harm was committed, now they have the opportunity to go back and submit and refile those cases. So it was just too soon, right? And did we hear that? Did we hear that in the news? Did you hear that in the news? Why all the smoke and mirrors? Why all the smoke and mirrors? Okay. And this is, what did Trump tweet? Trump tweeted this on Sunday night. He said, votes cannot be certified without committing a crime. Because of all this investigation that's going on, if you submit your votes, you are committing a crime. So a crime has been committed. Lots of crimes have been committed, but a crime when they submitted their electoral college votes was committed. Trump's goal is to convince the American people that the election was rigged by foreign interference from now until the 6th, I believe. Sidney Powell says there's no time limit. When there's a case, ongoing investigation, there's really no time limit. Even if Biden were to get inaugurated, if this cases were won, he could be, it could be thrown out and say, nope, you're not the winner. You were found guilty. See you later. You had a good run for 2 months. So it's really not over with the ongoing investigations. Okay? Determine what ballots were authentic and which ones were not. Limited military action taking place soon. Why is military action taking place soon? Because there was crimes committed against the United States and its election process. These were treasonous crimes. These weren't light crimes where they're going to say, okay, you Democrats, you did a crime, but don't do it again. We caught you. No, these are treasonous crimes. Treason in war is taken care of by death. The recompense for treason in war is death. I wonder what is going to happen with these treasonous traitors that are infiltrating our governmental system, right? The swamp. Trump says it's the swamp. He wants to clean the swamp. And I believe he has opportunity to clean that swamp in a big way. There's going to be big changes coming, I believe. Big changes. What's going to happen?
Release the Kraken!
That's coming. He's going to release the Kraken. Another thing, the prophets, I believe, were not correct. Were not incorrect. And I don't understand for the life of me why these prophets are coming out and apologizing for what they believe that God told them. This information here, no one's talking about it. I believe it's kind of top secret-ish. Not too top secret because I found it. But I'm just saying, when you don't know, and this is where your faith comes in. When you don't know, that's when you have faith in God. I don't know what's happening. I bet you if they had this information, they wouldn't be apologizing. And most of this information comes from knowing history, knowing how the election process works. But most people are not willing to go and study that, right? Or take a look at it, or even dig in to see where they can find out. So faith is when you don't know, you still believe. And this whole 2020 year is a big faith test. It's a faith workout. Remember, faith is a muscle. You got to work that out. You got to work it out. You want your faith to be stronger? Start working your faith out. Start believing for things. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to believe. I need to get more faith. I need to fill my mind with faith. I need to fill my mind with the Word of God. I need to keep believing, right? Get around people that believe. Help me strengthen my faith. So when we don't see what's going on, that's faith. You got to believe. Believe what God is saying. Now, Trump could still say all this, nothing of this happens that I said, and Biden just, the media and the mob are just so, they're just so gaslighting that people just accept it and say, we don't know what's happening. And he gets in. Well, Trump still could get in a second term. I mean, it's not like, he can still go run again. So that could be his second term. It's not going to go always the way we want it to go. But I don't believe that route. I don't believe that. I mean, I think he's there because if you take out the dead people who voted, this was a milestone election, because in this election, dead people voted. They actually came out of their grave and voted. That was a sight to see, right? Dead people voted. They had people vote twice. This election was it was like the biggest thing that could ever happen, that we had dead people voting and we had people voting twice. It was awesome, right? So, I mean, come on. If you take out all the not legal votes, the obvious winner is old DT, right? So even if they try to steal the election, doesn't mean that Trump didn't win. If God said he was going to win, then he's going to win. And why do I believe that so strongly? Because Trump made a pact with Israel. He stood up for Israel, God's chosen people, when nobody would. And I believe that's why I believe God is fighting for him. This is exactly how the world works. We're not of this world. Satan is a god of this world, right? He'll make us believe in everything to distract us from what's really happening. When God says something, what do we get? We get the devil in our ear, showing us things that make us doubt. And this is faith exposed, right? This is like, if you're a faith person and you've ever had to believe and pray for a miracle, this is exactly how it works. This is exactly how it happens. When my dad was in the hospital, he died in the surgery room. And when he was on the hospital bed, a machine was breathing for him for weeks. And what was seen was no hope. What was seen was that he died, and now this machine is breathing for him, and his brain is hemorrhaging. You couldn't see any hope. We even had people telling us, be strong, it's okay, like wanting us to say our goodbyes already. That's not faith. From the moment Dad went into the hospital, we prayed for peace, and because that peace, we believed, we had a peace, and we believed that God was gonna raise him up and bring him out of that surgery. There was a peace in our hearts. The peace of God will carry you through. The best thing you could pray for and go after concerning the things of God is peace. The peace of God will take you through everything. It's that peace of God that surpasses all understanding that will see us through. When you're praying for something, you know how to tell if it's working, if your prayers are going to have results. The way to tell that is the peace you have in your heart. If you have no peace concerning that prayer, you need to go back and fix your heart first, because it ain't working. You got to have that peace. That supernatural power of God comes from his peace. The supernatural power of God concerning everything that's going on in this world today is the peace. And those prayer warriors that are believing for a second term, let that peace of God reign in your heart. Now, don't get offended, you people that hate Trump with a passion. That's okay. Don't hate me for it, because I don't hate you for not supporting the president. I don't hate you for that. If you don't want to, then that's on you, right? But I believe that Trump stood up for Israel when nobody else would, and because of that, I believe he has favor with God. And there is plenty of grounds to stand on for Trump to have a second term. It's nowhere near hopeless, nowhere near over. So keep praying. You prophets of God, I believe God's going to raise up the young lions. There's going to be lions of God going after it, going after the things of God, going after the prophetic word, and just being that example, that light. We're in the end times, and we need to be a light shining brighter than ever. So go after it, young lions. Go after it, prophets. And don't forget, look up, because your redemption draweth nigh.